Inquiries remain on a borrower's credit report for 2 years, but most of the time the score only takes it into account for 12 months. FCRA, or FACRA, the Fair Credit and Reporting Act, also known as Regulation V, is a federal law that regulates how consumer credit reporting agencies, or CRAs, use consumers' information. Under FCRA, all consumers have the right to one free credit report each year. They can get more if they pay for them. The credit pulls must have a permissible purpose. You can't pull someone's credit just because you want to. FCRA requires that most things are removed within 7 years, 10 years on bankruptcies. FCRA requires an adverse action disclosure. This disclosure must be given within 30 days of a credit decision. FACTA, the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act, is an amendment to FCRA and adds provisions to improve the accuracy of consumers' credit-related records. FACTA requires the provision of risk-based pricing notices and credit scores to consumers whose applications are denied or who receive less favorable offers of credit. Notice to home loan applicant is required under FACTA. Safeguard rules require all files to be kept confidential and stored in a locked cabinet or drawer when not in use. All files must be kept for a period of at least 3 years before being destroyed. The CD, or closing disclosure, must be kept for at least 5 years. The Economic Growth, Regulatory Relief, and Consumer Protection Act requires nationwide consumer reporting agencies to provide national security freezes free to consumers. It also provides security and credit freezes. This amendment extended the time that a borrower can have a fraud alert on their credit report from 90 days to 1 year. The red flags rule was established to prevent identity theft and applies to financial institutions and creditors. The disposal rule is part of FACTA and dictates how institutions should dispose of consumer information. All files can be destroyed after 3 years, 5 years for the CD. Hard copies can be destroyed if all the files are digitized. Tangible net benefit. When analyzing a borrower to decide if they should get the loan, it is necessary to determine their ability to repay and if there is a tangible net benefit. As a professional, it is an MLO's responsibility to discuss options and determine if it is the best decision to complete a loan transaction. RESPA, the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, also known as Regulation X. RESPA covers kickbacks, referral fees, escrow requirements, transfer of servicing, and TRID. Section 8 prevents anything of value being exchanged for referrals or kickbacks. RESPA does not cover vacant land, large tracts of land, which include 25 acres or more, even if there is a dwelling on it, commercial or business loans, the government or its agencies, temporary financing, bridge loans or swing loans. Under RESPA, an affiliated business arrangement disclosure is needed if the MLO or company has an interest in third-party companies or if you are requiring a borrower to use any of your referral companies. USA Patriot Act. The USA Patriot Act was created in response to the attacks of September 11, 2001. The Treasury Department, through its Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, became responsible for implementing the act. As part of compliance with the USA Patriot Act, financial institutions are required to check 2 forms of identification for each borrower. The USA Patriot Act requires MLOs to obtain borrowers' identification through a Social Security card, a passport, or a driver's license, and then run the borrower through the OFAC database to see if they are on the government's watch list. Appraisals. An appraisal is an evaluation of the borrower's home determined by the appraiser and substantiated by an appraisal report. All appraisers must conform with USPAP and be licensed in their states to perform appraisals. The use of an appraisal management company, or AMC, is required by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They are a neutral third party. There are 3 types of appraisals: sales comparison, cost approach, and income approach. The sales comparison approach is the most common and uses comparable properties to determine a value of the subject property. Comparables must be within 1 mile of the subject property and have been sold in the past 6 months. Cost approach appraisals are determined by how much it would cost to reproduce the improvement, the home, on the property. The income approach is used mostly for investment or multi-unit properties. The amount of income the property can produce through renting is